Welcome back to the CDMS podcast. This is season 2, episode 2 of the CDMS podcast. We have a fully loaded podcast this week, and well, before then, I gotta ask my co-host Cameron, how you doing today? Well, tonight it's like 3 in the morning.
You're right.
It is 3 in the morning.
It's 2:17 in the fucking morning. We never record these during the day. Literally, like y'all think, like I hope y'all don't think these are being recorded during the day because they're not. But I'm doing pretty good.
Nah.
It's just another. It's just a nice little Saturday morning. Enjoying my off days. Started this new job that I just really fucking enjoy, and living my best life. How about you, friend?
This year has been not fun. I'm gonna be honest. This year has not been fun at all. Like to start this year off, like I was like I said, like I mean, I've had a good day, great day actually. But just this year in general has just been fucking stressful, so stressful, and it's almost like nothing's getting done. Well, not podcast wise. Podcast wise, we're doing perfectly fine. It's just like a bunch of life stuff, a bunch of just trying to like self improvement stuff, just trying to get stuff done. That's not getting done, and we're like, yo, it is great. I'm gonna say this before you get to like the topic. It is great. It is so amazing that every time I look at my bank account, I am not making any money at all. I love seeing $50 in the negative, $150 in the negative. Don't you just love being a negative every fucking week? Shit.
You
Man.
talking about you love being in negative every week. I have had to look at my bank account being in negative for weeks now. You talking about just every week? How about going in a full month? Just no money, no source of income. But I only got myself to blame for that, so I can't really complain. And so it just sucks not having money. Like if you America, if you lose your job and you do not have any money in your bank account, you is shit out of luck. And
What?
in this current climate, you is shit out of luck if you have no source of income and if you have nobody that you can depend on to like just to give you just something to help you keep going, you is shit out of luck because the government don't give a shit. They pretend like they give a shit, and like yeah, there's housing assistance, there's food assistance, but that's like if you even able to even get to it. What if you don't got a car? How you gonna get to it? What if you don't got no money to get a bus pass? How the fuck you gonna get there? What if your phone is off and you can't contact nobody to take you there? How the fuck you gonna get there? So what's
No,
the
I will say there are ways around it a little bit, just a little bit. Like, okay, you don't got the phone. You don't got a phone. You got as long as you have like Wi-Fi, then you can use the app, use the Wi-Fi to use the app, and then make return call and stuff. But
but people are dumb. But people are dumb, and they don't realize that there are those apps. Because for the longest time, I would not download what's the shit called WhatsApp. I would not download WhatsApp at all when my phone was off because it's just like I already don't get calls. Nobody talk to me. Why the fuck do I need WhatsApp?
oh damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. Like shit. My life depressing. Let shit stay depressing. Nope. Nobody fucking call me. Shit. Ain't no shame in that. Ain't no shame in it. I loves who I loves and I bees who I bees with. And that's all it is to it.
No, not really. For what was you going to do? Let's get into our first topic of the podcast. How much you take it away?
Oh, you're gonna let me start it up? Well, I'm gonna start off with something not necessarily lighthearted because it's kind of an issue that's been plaguing America honestly since the dawn of time, and it's the whole argument when it comes to the depiction of Christianity in modern media. I don't know if America knows. I mean, it's been all over the news, in Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. But Lil Nas X recently came out with his song J Christ. It's I like it. It's a good song, but that's not the reason why everyone's talking about it. Everyone's talking about the song because of the simple fact that the video and all over Lil Nas X's Instagram account, he has been depicting himself as Jesus Christ, and that has Christian Instagram, Christian YouTube in an uproar because of the simple fact that when he came out with his album "Call Me by Your Name" last year, with him, lap dancing on the literal devil, they're like, "Oh my God, he's making fun of Christianity again! Somebody stop him! Somebody stop him!" And it got so bad to the point where he literally had to come out with an apology video. And in the apology video, he explains that this was supposed to be his, like, hey guys, I'm not a bad guy. I like Jesus and I actually like my Christian community. And so the fact that y'all are saying that I'm a devil worshiper, I'm a Satanist, I'm this, that, and the third, that's just not cool. And that has me feeling like y'all just fucking hate. But in my eye, I don't really think that Monterio had to actually apologize because what he explained in the video is kind of what I was like as a kid. I've always wanted to eat the communion snacks and drink the wine whenever we would have communion, and he expressed that as a kid that's what he wanted to do, and so he was just doing a nod to what he wanted to do as a kid, but people were still taking it as if he was making a joke out of it. And I can understand that because of the way that he edited the video, and and especially how he, proceeded to just dump the entire basket of communion cookies on his body.
I'm gonna say this: I'm not really religious. I don't follow any particular religion. I'm not an atheist because I think atheism is dumb. But if that's your way of life, then so be it. Follow your way of life. But what I will say is, Lil Nas have to think about it. You made an entire music video twerking on the devil, lap dance, breaking the devil's neck, all of this stuff, and you got Christians that are calling you out 24/7, saying that he's making this type of music because he doesn't have a father in his life, not knowing who the man is. 'Cause I remember that I think that Texas preacher that called him out saying like, "Oh, that little Nas boy, that little Nas, he's a thug. He don't have a father or something. That's why he's making that type of music." The whole fast talking preacher thing, and I'm like, bro, you don't even know the dude. Don't talk about somebody if you don't know him. That's very ungodly. But okay, cool, yeah, hypocrite. But whatever, fine. Do whatever you gotta do. I don't I don't really view the religion of Christianity in a positive light. I've never viewed the religion in a positive light because of my beliefs and from what I have experienced in my lifetime with Christians and the whole hypocrisy of just trash talking, bad mouthing other people, saying acting as if you're holier than thee when you're just like every other person on this planet, very sinful people. But to keep it off back to Lil Nas, I will say, dude, you putting memes and twerking on the devil are gonna piss off people who are overly religious and who take religion very seriously. I don't know how you thought it was a good idea. I personally think you should stop. I really think you should take all the religious element out of your music, just because at the end of the day, you know what it is. You're gay. You are a gay black male who does um the sexual stuff, the sexual content in your music videos, and of course, people are going to hate on it. People are going to hate on it, especially when you're involved in anything to do with God. It's to be expected. It is honest to God is honestly to be expected. I don't see any world where that is going to be okay for you to do that. Hell, if it was any other religion, then you'd probably be getting death threats. Probably already getting death threats, but you're probably getting like people actually trying to go through with those things. Like if it was, especially if it was like Muslims take
Oh, they take that
it
very
very
serious.
seriously.
They take that very
Some
serious.
some Jewish people, what is it called, Judaism? They take that very seriously.
I
So
think it's Hebrew.
maybe not
Or
Hebrew. I thought it was Judaism.
It's
But
probably Judaism.
they either way they take it very seriously. Some kind of don't, but for the most part, they take it very seriously. It's not something you can just act and then make it I feel like you should stay away from it because it doesn't. I feel like it doesn't benefit your career whatsoever to keep the religious elements in your music videos and stuff. Because I don't, you don't need it. You made one of the biggest songs, one of the biggest albums of what 2022, 2021, the Montero album. Cause that was a big album.
I think it was 2022. Yeah,
Yeah.
2022 because he took out an entire year to make the documentary.
So yeah, literally, what was on that album? Industry, baby.
Uh,
Montero.
Call Me by Your Name.
That's what I want.
That's what I fucking want.
Like the album did great, and let's not even talk about the underrated songs with what was it with Megan Thee Stallion and
Doja. But you don't
with
like Doja
Doja.
Cat. But you
I don't like
Doja.
Doja's new music. I'm not about to get into it. I don't acknowledge
Yeah.
the motherfucker. But
Yeah.
and son, like another underrated song off that album, Sun Goes Down. So you know how to make good music, you know how to make quality music, you know how to talk about life in a way that can be expressed. I don't think you need the religious stuff in your music to get clicks, likes, whatever. And if you're just doing it just to be doing it, that's fine, but you don't need to do it. Especially when people are just gonna hate on you because you're a gay black male. But we're not ready for that conversation, honestly.
How I feel on the stance is I don't want to say necessarily I agree with you on he should stop the religious representation because has anyone even asked Lil Nas X what his religious preference is? Is he actually Christian? Is he just maybe behind closed doors? This is just him, if any form of way honoring God. But then you could also argue, why would you make the Monterio video in that way if he was honoring God? But what I will say is that what Lil Nas X did say in the apology was that because of the fact of how people saw him in the first video, that's why in this video he was on the more on Jesus' side more. And then when he cast himself in the music video in J Christ back down to hell, and then he came back up and his little avant-garde outfit with the cape and stuff, which looked absolutely amazing. um he was saying like that's what him exonerating Jesus, him saying like, hey, I'm a Christian, guys. Woo, woo, woo. And so I just feel as if I agree he should probably just tone it down. But if you are going to exonerate him in music, just find a different way to do it. If you want to talk about God, just say like, love you, Jesus, or something. Or do what every other rapper does, just and then fist up in the air. But
Because it doesn't matter. I'll say it doesn't matter what he's gonna do. He's gonna get the hate anyway, just because
mhm.
whatever. Don't even have to like repeat it. But it's like rappers can get like straight rappers can get away with doing it 24/7. They could talk about Jesus in one line, and talk about how they're like doing drugs with a stripper or whatever. So it's like it's still hypocrisy. It's still messed up. I would consider that still mocking, but
It is mocking because if I feel as if the only way you could truly worship Jesus while it being a song is if it's a gospel song, and even
yeah.
then, that's a little bit on the iffy side because some of them gospel songs, them the lyrics are a
Kurt
little,
Franklin.
yeah, them lyrics are a little.
Not
And
even the
so
lyrics. This is like some of these people. Remember how Kurt Franklin had that accident, and then he was like, and then after the accident, he almost died from falling off the stage. He was like, in that moment, I actually started believing God truly, and I'm like, so okay,
oh,
okay.
we can just pack it
Okay.
up all in. Okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm just not about to take anything you say seriously. But anyways, but now moving to the documentary, I haven't seen. I've seen like a little bit of the trailer documentary
Mhm.
because he did say he took. What I did saw was the fact he took it. He said he took a year off to make the documentary. So what was it? Did you ever look into it? Because I didn't really get the chance to look into the documentary.
Well, I don't think the documentary is actually out yet, but I have seen the trailer and I have seen the all the little teasers he came out with, and it looks like it's gonna be a blockbuster trailer. I'm most definitely watching it because I was never really into the whole like what is it movie concert shit because the first ever one I ever watched was Beyonce's like very first like ever movie she came out with like the early two like the early
Wasn't it
2010s.
wasn't the Runaway tour?
I think so. I think it was a Runaway tour, and that's like the only one I've ever seen. And so, but when I was a kid, I wasn't into it. I want to actually watch this because it's the simple fact that not necessarily I see myself in Little Nas X, but we have a lot of similarities. There's a lot of similarities in Little Nas X between me and him, and I feel as if, like you said it yourself, he's this generation's Little Richard. That's what it was. He's this generation's Little Richard, and so I just really hope that in this documentary, um, we get to see a side of Little Nas X that we don't get to really see out in public. And I just really hope that the straight people or the people that don't like Little Nas X that actually watch the movie just to give it a chance, I hope they can, just give him, just please, just please, because he's an amazing artist.
I
And
mean, he's a good artist, but most of the stuff he doing in music videos, people are just not into the whole
mhm.
the prison scene with the negative. That's just most
Oh
that
yeah,
that's just stuff that most people are not into. Like I mean, he has an audience. Obviously, that music video did like 500 million views, but it's of course it's not gonna do as big. Of course, it's not gonna be as big as like Old Town Road or something like that. It's just something
I don't,
that's just
I
not the
don't,
audience for it.
I don't think anything's gonna be as good as Old Time Road because the people make a lot of references to that because they'll say you went from Old Time Road to not shaking your ass on camera. How do we get here?
I
And I
mean, he came out as gay and he started making the music he wanted to make. It's that simple.
and then I feel as if anything, if we're really thinking about it, it's Old Time Road is really a nod to Brokeback Mountain.
Mm.
Like not it's not as close as a nod to Brokeback Mountain, but it's just a simple fact that the people that was in Brokeback Mountain, they were also cowboys. They was also riding, taking their horses down the Old Time Road, riding it till they can't no more. And so it's just I feel as if like if we're really looking at it, it was there. We just wasn't realizing it. And then even in the what is it, Panini, in the what is it, the visual, in the visual of Panini, there's even little like hints and nods to him being gay in that as well. And then even more
But that
nods
was
in
from the
the
EP though,
yeah.
because that's where he dropped. That's where he dropped the EP. That's where he dropped that he was gay in the first place. Because
Oh
I think on one of the buildings, it had like a not a rainbow flag, but just like rainbow colors. And then he was like, and then people didn't notice it, and then he ended up making a Twitter post about it saying, "Hey, yo, here's my EP. I'm gay." Boom. He didn't even make a big deal. He didn't make a spectacle out of it or nothing. It's when he came out with. It's when he came out with the full album, where people were expecting him to like fall off or the album to flop. It's where he's like, "Oh, so y'all expecting me to like just fall off? Okay, bet I got you." Because he was always dancing. He was dancing Old Town Road. He was dancing when he was like making his freestyles or whatever on YouTube. It's just he got better and better, and now he has these numbers and
getting
just
hotter.
yeah, he definitely worked for it.
Yeah.
But I want to do an update because this is I feel it's important to me a little bit on the
Okay.
Josh Giddey case. Josh Giddey will not face any charges for alleged. I gotta say it's the third time alleged relationship with a minor because we still don't know the woman's age. All we know is that it's an alleged minor who snuck into a club, who got with Josh Giddey, and they slept together and had a relationship for like a month, or I think what they said was like from like a month to 4 months, or even half a year, maybe. So maybe even half a year is pushing it. It's still all alleged, and it is what it was. So the family and the girl chose not to cooperate with the police to do an investigation, and people are still saying that this man is a pedophile and touches kids. How did he? How is he considered a pedophile? What? I mean, damn. How is he considered a pedo or going out or being a predator towards minor when he was in the club, an of age club, minding his own business, and a random person walked up to him trying to sleep around, whatever, mess around, date, do whatever, what happens in the club. So how do we get there? And all of a sudden, now he's considered a predator, a pedo, and all these things. When in reality, that's not the truth. Why is it so hard to tell the truth when it comes to this man? You do not know. Nobody knows until there's some information. Until the girl decides to corroborate with the police, and we get the actual information we need to call this man a pedo if he really is. Then why are we destroying this man's life? Why are we doing this to this dude who we don't know for the sake of laughs, memes, and comedy? This dude is like 23 years old. This is gonna mess with this man, and this is the label he's gonna have to stick with until he die. All because that family chose to not cooperate with the police if he was really in the wrong. Doesn't make any sense.
I feel as if any form case, I don't want to say a publicity stunt because ain't no way this is a publicity stunt.
Can be.
Because I agree. It just doesn't make any sense why you would go through the trouble of getting the police involved, but then not cooperate with the police when they're trying to book the man. It seems kind of suspicious. It is suspicious because it just doesn't make sense. Because if I was in her shoes and I knew that Josh Giddey was way older than me, and I knew as myself that I was a 16-year-old and I was getting flagged, I would do the same thing that she's doing now, not saying a fucking word, because that's what
I will
she's
say
doing.
this: there was an account that originally called this out in the first place, and that account deleted itself. It wasn't deleted by Instagram, wasn't deleted by Twitter. That account was there, and then they randomly decided to delete themselves from the internet. Haven't heard anything from that person that ran that account, anything like that since the deletion of that account. And they have basically watched this shitstorm take over this man's basketball career and life. He's been asked out to practice, during practice, hey, about this case when bro was trying to go win a basketball game, trying to go play, trying to do whatever. The team he plays for is an up and coming NBA team. They're not the best right now, but they're trying. They're on the rise. This man's career is on the rise. This is how you stunt somebody's growth, a player growth. Like, this is not the situation with Karl Malone. For the love of God, stop comparing this man to Karl Malone. He is not Karl Malone at all. What Karl Malone did was sick. He shouldn't have had an NBA career, but he had a career. No, nobody respects his career. Nobody respects anything he's done in his career because he shouldn't have had a career in the first place. That's the truth. He was 21, 22 years old and knocked up a 12-year-old who had a kid at 13. That man was sick. That was predatory. That was something that should have been cut. Yeah, no, you screwed up. You're not going to have a job now. And the NBA decided to let that slide. That's on them. That man's career is not respected whatsoever by anybody. Don't compare this man don't compare Josh Giddey to Karl Malone. I'm not a fan of the giggity jokes with comparing him to Quagmire. It ain't it. You can say, I mean, it's funny, but it's not, considering the fact that it's ruining somebody's life. Like, it's funny, but it's not funny because it's like, damn, you ruined somebody's life.
Josh Giddey.
Like it had like it's
Josh
funny.
Giddey.
It's just you know.
No, it's fucked. It's so fucked. And I don't know a lot about Josh Giddey, but I don't think anybody should be put into the spot that he's in right now because there's really nothing he can say or do that's gonna persuade America to be on his side because of the simple fact
For anybody.
that he thinks that he's a pedo. Because of the fact that the family refuses to come out and the girl refuses to come out to say anything, he's just gonna look like a fucking pedo. And what my question is for the girl is, if you knew that you was underage and you snuck into this, you know, you have to be of age club, and you see Josh Giddey, she went for the bag. That's all. That's literally what it is. She went for the bag because she knew that this man had money. There was no way she allowed herself to be put into a situation without understanding the full depth of the consequences that she was gonna have to face. Because the public and I bet everyone in her school knows that she fucked Josh Giddey. If she's still in school, that is.
But do we even know this? Do we like my thing is like do we even know this woman's name? Do we even know this girl's name?
Nope.
Do we know anything about her like at all? Like
No.
we know a lot about Josh. You know a lot. He's a public figure. He's been scrutinized, criticized by everybody and everything. And I promise you, it's not. I'm only defending this man as much as I'm defending him because I have seen everybody completely just give up on this dude and be like, yeah, no, cut and dry. He's a weirdo. You knew nothing about him in the first place. You knew absolutely nothing about this dude in the first place. I'm not a fan of Josh Giddey. I like watching him play sometimes. I'm not a mega fan. I'm not a mega fan of his team. My
I don't
team
watch NBA.
is an old team that is gonna lose in the playoffs. It's the Clippers. My
Oh
team
wow.
sucks. So it is what it is. I have no lag in this race, right? I have seen everybody, even NBA players, even ex NBA players with their podcasts, be like, I'm not gonna lie, that Josh Giddey kid, he is kind of weird. You knew nothing about him. You knew nothing, absolutely nothing about him. You're just going off base what the internet is saying because you know you're gonna get, you know people are gonna agree with you. You knew nothing about this dude at all. He's 20, he is 23, 20 something years old. You're like 35. You knew nothing about this man because you and him wasn't even playing in the same time. So you knew absolutely nothing about him. You're just saying it for the clicks and views. I don't care if I get screwed up. Do you know how easy it is if it come out that the evidence is true that yeah, so it turns out bro is where he actually was being a pedo. Bro, you think I'm not gonna come back over here and be like, oh yeah, no, bro gotta go. Get him out the league, put him in a cage, do whatever. But I don't care for the alleged whatever. I do not care for the alleged anything. Is I need concrete information if we're gonna call somebody a pedo. That's something that's gonna stick with them for life. I need concrete information. It is that simple.
I agree. I 100% agree. Because too many lives have been ruined off of allegations and speculations. Too many lives, too many people lost from allegations and speculations. It's just sad, and the way that we have all the technology and the ability to look up text messages, look up old logs, go into people's accounts and find this information. We got people that's not even in the CIA able to look up people, but we can't find the information for this one person. Are we trying? Or are we just allowing this one person to ruin this guy's career because we just don't like him? Or is it because he's white? Like 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 you told me,
You
basketball
know what's
is
funny?
racist.
You know what's funny? I have seen people talk about Kyrie and Draymond Green situation. How like, well, Draymond Green, well, Kyrie, like when we were talking about this earlier with Kyrie, well, he shared a Twitter post and he got removed. He wasn't even able to play basketball for months. No, that's not what happened. He shared a post to a book, and in that book had anti-Semitic quotes and logs in that book. And the NBA, who is hold up, my camera froze, but the NBA, who has a lot of Jewish owners, looked at that and like, yo, that's a problem. I know you're not anti-Semitic, but this book has some anti-Semitic stuff. That's a problem. I'm gonna need you to not promote something that's against my people. And Kyrie's like, I'm gonna promote it anyway. And bro got suspended. Oh my god, who would have thought that the Jewish owners complained to the commissioner of the NBA to get a player suspended? Who would have thought? Now, was Kyrie in the wrong? I wouldn't say he's in the wrong. I don't think he deserved to be suspended for what he did get. Draymond Green was punching people and assaulting people for years. That's why he got suspended. Stop. You cannot compare those situations to him at all. Well, John Morant got suspended. John Morant was in trouble multiple times. He was being told multiple times, yo, what you're doing right now is at the disservice of the entire NBA and your team that is paying you hundreds of millions of dollars to promote them and be the face of that team. If that would have been some random player on the bench or a role player doing what John Morant was doing, no one would care. But it's Ja freaking Morant. There are billboards over the entire city of Memphis. He's one of the biggest well-known people in America. He is a face of the NBA. You cannot do the stuff you was doing and expect them to be like, hey, yo, we're just going to let it slide. We're just going to take all the damages and potential profit loss to our company, team, and brand. Hell no. That's why he got suspended. It's not the same. Stop. You cannot compare something that has happened once. This is Josh outside of this has a completely clean history. John Morant did not. He was told multiple times to stop, chill out, and he did not. It's not the same. Stop making it about race when it has nothing to do about race. He was told, he did not listen. He caused the team and the league damages. He got his ass suspended. It is not the same.
That was a little pointed. Oh my god.
My bad.
Jesus.
Yeah, shit is ridiculous, man. Like I'm all fine. I'm all okay with I'm okay. Like I'm okay somewhat with like the Josh Giddey jokes, but it's like, yo, this shit is quite literally ruining this man's life. Who knows what it's doing who knows what all these allegations, which are all still allegations by the way, is doing to this man's psyche. Like we say how we care how men go through so much and we don't talk about it in the mental health side of things. Here you go. Here's the allegations right here. They're all allegations. What is he supposed? Well, genuinely, what is he supposed to do? That's shit that's fucking with me so much. That's why I care so much about this particular case. Like we say we care about mental health. We say we care about the men. We say we want men to like speak out more about their mental and all this shit. Until it's something that doesn't relate to you or something you don't really care about, then well, that person don't really matter. It's crazy, man. But let's move on. This topic is absolutely fucked.
Child, we'll just leave it at that. The next topic not about to be any brighter.
It's not.
We gonna say Miss Crash Dummy for last. We gonna next we gonna talk about if America isn't aware, but Hazbin Hotel has came out on Prime, and I'm so sad because
oh my god, this is worse.
Yeah, it is worse. It originally came out on YouTube. I don't know if everyone has seen the Hazbin Hotel pilot, but that's primarily what I've seen, and I've rewatched it several times. I love Hazbin Hotel. I loved it when it came out. I love Hell of a Boss, the pilot when it first came out.
How about this? We are for the next podcast. We're gonna do an update on this topic because I think this topic deserves an update, a real big one. Just because our viewpoints on it. We're gonna watch the full series or the full season of Hazbin Hotel on Amazon because I got my Amazon Prime. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna come back just to see if any of our opinions change. But yeah, That's something we're gonna do. That's something we're gonna do for the podcast and everybody.
Well, hey, there you go, America. But Hazbin Hotel, if you're not aware, it's a animated television show that takes place in hell, and it depicts obviously demons, the lords of the abyss, all that good stuff, gremlins and everything. And one thing I want to focus on is a character named Angel Dust, and it's the most prolific character out of the entire series. If anything, I think Angel Dust is the only character that really people can say by name. Like I'm telling you, I don't even remember the main character. The only person I remember is Angel Dust and the radio demon.
Charlie, the radio demon. I don't remember Charlie's is because she's like the most non-demon like character in the show, and it's like,
Oh,
okay,
okay.
she's
Can
trying to rehabilitate. What's it called? Her
rehabilitate,
her,
rehabilitate.
rehabilitate. There we go. I can't say
You still didn't say it right. Rehabilitate.
Rehabilitate. There we go. Shit. Rehabilitate.
You're
trying to really be. Ow!
We'll move past that part. Trying to rehabilitate the demons, and it's fine. And actually, I'm kind of glad that you brought up that part because Angel Dust was actually one of the first demons that Charlie tried to rehabilitate. But in the series, I have no clue how Angel Dust ended back up with Valentino. But Valentino is essentially a demon that Angel Dust is contracted with. And in the show, I don't know if it's how many episodes is it out, but in one of the scenes in the episode, it depicts a very vulgar and graphic scene of what I don't know if I can say it on YouTube, and physical assault and physical assault and physical abuse. And it's not only the depiction of the abuse, but you can hear the emotion. I love, love the voice actors for the series. They did a phenomenal job of showcasing this, but that's not why we're talking about it. The reason why we're talking about it is because you have, dare I say it, hobgoblins saying that this show is trying to glorify assault. And that's just not true, sweetie. It's just not true, sweetie. It's not. Because for the show to glorify assault, it would have to be making the assault into a joke, or either making the assault into something that's actually supposed to be praiseworthy. I do not think that scene showcased anything that was praiseworthy about Valentino's actions or the way that he handled Angel. Now, America is fucked. We all know this. And over the years, we have gained this new form of attraction towards abusers or abusers in relationship, clearly depicted by Joker and Harley Quinn throughout the several comics and several movies that have them with each other. But when it comes to that, America looked past it like, oh, that's fine, because of the fact that, if anything, the same traits that Harley Quinn is dealing with Joker is the same shit that some people deal with in their actual relationships. But we refuse to talk about that. We refuse to say anything about that because of the fact, like, oh, it's animated characters. It's a comic book. We shouldn't think about too much about it. But we have to remember who is the main demographic that are watching these shows. Children.
You know something? I'm gonna let you finish that. I just had a thought that's like kind of like oof. But you finish that statement. You finish that statement.
The age demographic is literally from 12 and up. That is the age demographic for all comic books, any superhero or supervillain movie, and this animated TV show. That is literally the demographic that this show is being showcased to. Now, I'm not saying so much for Hazbin Hotel is being shown to 12-year-olds. I would say that's more 14 and up, 15 and up, 16 and up. That's more of it because of the vulgar language and just the several depictions of not only assault but drugs, guns, violent, death. All of it's all in there because all this is being taking place in hell. This is what you would expect from hell. And so that's why in this show in particular, it's not really an issue. It's more of the fact of the people that are watching this show and thinking that, oh, the people that are behind the show are trying to say that this is okay. No, sweetie, that's not what we're doing. If anything, I feel like this is a perfect representation of assault and abuse because not gonna put my foot out there, but shit like that is real. Angel suffers from Stockholm syndrome, severe Stockholm syndrome. He suffers from drug abuse, physical abuse. It's evident. And then the several amount of music videos that have this character in it, and it shows that this character is a broken character, but he uses his body to just feel alive. And people are saying that they're trying to glorify that. It's fucked up.
I would say there have been several instances in the last decade of shows romanticizing um these toxic traits and relationships, and that is Suicide Squad, Harley Quinn, and Joker. What was it called? 13 Reason Why, 50 Shades of Grey, that whole franchise, which teenagers are gonna find ways to watch these movies. One, two, three movies. Oh my god, who would have thought the teenager was watching 50 Shades of Grey? Oh no, come on now, like parents, stop. We grew up watching this stuff. I would even say mangas and anime, killing, stalking. I have seen a lot of people that grew up reading killing, stalking. I knew because I even wrote a paper in high school about this when Suicide Squad came out about romanticism of toxic traits in these relationships and how I thought it was how I felt that it was bad for teenagers and kids that may watch these movies and people and adults and young adults they may watch this movie and it be a bad idea. And people was like, oh no, it's just the movie. It can't be. Well, who would have thought that my generation is a generation that is the broken generation because of all the broken media choices that we've been given. Who would have thought that? Well, some of them like the abuser, like the bad boy type. Which I mean, every generation like the bad boy. That's just something that's been around since forever. Whatever, you know. But why is it so prominent in my generation versus every other?
Because
The,
that's
it,
what's been showcased in all forms
that's,
of
that's
media.
what that's what that's what we've been growing up with since teenagers, dude. The last 7, 8 years, this is what we've been given by the media. We were 13, 14, 15, 16 when these shows were coming out, so it ain't our fault. So how is it that all these other shows that were coming out and Hazbin Hotel is now the show that we want to put our foot down and be like, yeah, this show is glorifying, this show is romanticizing. When all the other shows beforehand did it were actually doing the deed. What the fuck are we talking about? Like, if you want to make this show take accountability for the last decade of shows that were coming out and doing this bullshit, you're dumb. You are actually dumb, or you just blind, dumb, ignorant, arrogant to the truth, whatever. You don't have to be though. It doesn't take one Google search for you to go and look at the plethora of shows that came out before Hazbin Hotel that maybe that the creator of Hazbin Hotel, who is, I think she's like 20 something, like like
She's
mid or
also in
late
her
20s.
20s. She's also in her
Like, oh my
20s.
god, who would have thought that she would have grown up watching the same shit that we did? So maybe that's why the character's so fucked in the head, and that's maybe the inspiration that these characters take place from like a team. What's it called? Not Degrassi. Degrassi. Fuck.
Don't ever in your life to compare Degrassi to Hazbin Hotel. The
Oh, I'm not. I'm
if
not. I'm
Degrassi
just
was
saying
anything
shows
like
like that.
oh Zoe 101, uh Teen Diary, is it Teen Diary or is it Vampire Diary? It might be Teen Diary. Pretty Little Liars, shows that
Pretty
come
Little
on
Liars.
I don't want to not Buffy, but
Like, look, hold on. Here, I just look. 13 Reasons Why, Euphoria, Riverdale,
I forgot about you.
Pretty Little Liars.
America.
All these shows. Where was the outcry then?
They was too busy. They was too busy enjoying the shows. That's why they was too busy giving the shows awards for being
Hell,
innovative.
I'll even say Empire. Fuck it.
Stop. That's black media. Stop. That's black media. We can't talk
I mean,
about that media. We can't talk
Man,
about
bullshit.
that media. Why? You want to represent the black people, man? Wait, it's hard for us to get out here and have our own shows, man.
I mean, you're not wrong. Definitely not wrong. But if everybody in my mind, and in my world, the way I'm gonna talk about it, everybody gonna get the criticism when I feel like the criticism is needed. Now, was it as bad as like these other shows, Empire? No, but it was still bad. It was still bad, but not even close. Snowfall. Oh my god, especially
you can't forget
Snowfall was bad.
Oh Lord.
Bro. But then again, it's criticism of the show because the way people are talking about Hazbin Hotel now. We already know that these shows were made like this to show a genuine representation of what life is like during that time, in that stage of puberty and life in high school. Because we're not gonna act like high school isn't a fuck fest. Like maybe not to the level like it is in college when college just literally is a fuck fest, but it is just so much messed up. So much stuff happens during these times, and that's what these shows are going out of their way to tell you. Yo, this isn't cool, but literally, people are like talking about how they want relationships like these characters and how good these characters are in these certain scenes and stuff. And it's like, yo, but he's still an abuser. You know that, right? Like, well, it doesn't matter. He was good in this episode. He was a good person. He's changing. Stop. Can we please stop stop the cap? Stop the. Well, I can change him. I can change her culture. Stop. Just stop.
I actually kind of like that culture.
I don't. Like the memes are funny, but the people that are genuinely like that in life, no. Oh yeah. You gotta stop. Just stop.
I met too many people like that in this world.
Tell me about it, man.
I can name 2 of them right off the top of my head too.
We're not gonna talk about those 2 people.
I'm so fucking petty.
Like,
Lord. But nah, like
this my Halloween party though. That's crazy, man. It is what it is.
But this is
if I could have that moment all over again, probably would. Anyway, right now it was still pretty dope. But not the bad parts. But yeah.
But I like this topic because it's a very serious issue, and I can personally give my input on it, and so that's even why I love talking about it. And so it's just it's a pretty fucked world when it comes to so, And the people that have never dealt with it or have never been in a situation where it could have happened to them, they can never understand the mindset that you have when you're in a situation like that. It's not like, oh, you can just walk out of it. No, you can't just walk out of it. If you can just walk out of it, a lot of people would just walk out of it, but they just can't because of something that you just cannot understand. Maybe when it happened, Stockholm syndrome kicked in, and now they think that person is the only person they can rely on. Or when it happened, no one believed them. So it's a pretty fucked thing. But we can talk more about it after you watch the show. Because after I watch the show, I'll really know what I want to say. And if we have some people
Yes,
commenting, on this video about the things that I say in the video, oh, I'm ready. I'm so ready. I really am. I'm like, wait, my God, I'm ready.
you're lagging a little bit.
Oh, I'm lagging. My bad. Give it a second.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, yeah. I'm sitting in the
But
midst
yeah,
of war.
when did this podcast get dark? Like I think I'm not gonna lie, like June. Like I think this may be the darkest podcast. Well, outside of that one podcast that we had to delete, but this is
Yeah. Oh, listen. It's not
this
about
is
to be dark
definitely
no
the
more.
darkest podcast.
Let's talk about Kamala Harris. Let's get some laughs out. Let's talk about Madam Vice President. Now, Madam Vice President Kamala Harris 2 days ago went on the View, and I don't know if you've seen the interview, but I personally don't watch the View. But I watched this interview in particular because in the interview she talked about three things, and it's her three things that she loved to talk about: gun violence, the having the correct health resources for abortions and just maternal care just in general, making sure that women actually can afford if they need to go to any of these medical care centers so they can actually be able to afford the medical care. And dang, did I already say gun control? Because she brought that up like twice in like the same sentence. That was a joke. Um, um, and she also talked about making sure that students are able to actually pay off their student loans and helping them and having what is it? It's when they just wipe away the student loans. I can't think of it really.
I think that's what they're trying to do, but I think from like, cause I've read maybe like one or two articles about it, so I'm not the most knowledgeable on on the student loan topic. But I think what they're trying to do is get rid of like half of it because it's just not getting paid off. And I'm like, what do y'all expect? Yeah, like these colleges are so expensive, even with like the scholarships and stuff. It's only paying for like half of it now, so it's just I'm lucky that I got out of college without having. I got well, it was community college. I got my associate degree in general studies, and I got out of it without having to take out a loan or owing anything to that college. So I'm just good on that.
Student loans. I have several, but I was trying to think of a name because it's a certain word that they use when when they was talking about it. But essentially, that was on her three focal points on the interview, and while she was talking about it, she does her whole called Kamala Harris thing, this, that, and the third. But one in particular question that was brought up on the View that struck a chord with the woman. I don't know her name, but she was sitting right next to Kamala on the right of her. She asked Kamala, "What is her viewpoint on Trump being back in the race, and how would you feel if Trump somehow? Oh my God, hope he doesn't." This is what she said on national television. That what would you do if he got back in office? This woman said, "Oh, the God, not." But I would be scared. I would be scared that if he ever got back into office. But that's not to say that I would be scared. We should all be scared because of just look what he's saying on television, and look what he just did in the past. And so, if I'm saying that I'm scared, we should all be scared. And I don't know if that is necessarily considered as fear mongering, because you could
That's
say,
definitely fear mongering.
I'll I'll give it a caveat. I'll give it a caveat because
Okay.
as the woman on the board says on the view, they said I agree with them, because if the vice president is saying that we should be worried about this next election, then as the American people, not necessarily we should be worried about the election, but we should be keeping an eye on the candidates, seeing what policies and what viewpoints they're actually talking about. And so when it comes time in October for us to vote, we vote for the right person that we think should be in office.
But my thing,
Because
the reason I will say that it is fear mongering, because when she was asked, she was like, she was talking about on Trump getting back in office. She was like, that scares me, and as a nation, we should be scared. So it's implying that, hey, go out there and vote. So to make sure this guy who I fear as the vice president don't get back in office, because if he was to get back in office, it's a problem. And my issue is like, my only issue with it, I'm not gonna take a side. I personally don't care about the Democrats or the Republican. I'm not don't You're not gonna label me. I don't care about either party. And the way I feel at this point, on a good day, the Democrats aren't crybabies, and on a bad day, the Republicans are crybabies. For the last 4 years that Biden has been in office, I have been disappointed by the Republican Party. As much as they have been crybabies, crying, crying over and over again, more crying, just like the Democrats. And I'm like, yo, aren't y'all supposed to be the party of this, that, and the third? And y'all are doing the exact same thing that the Democrats are doing. But damn, y'all are hypocrites. That's cool. At least for the Democrats, they stand on it. Shit, or a little bit. They stand on it. I'm like, yeah, y'all can't even stand. Y'all can't even stand on y'all principal values. That is crazy to me. But okay, cool. So, like, these 4 years have, while Trump has not been in office, have been kind of an eye-opening experience to realize that both parties are kind of just full of shit. Me
I,
personally,
I didn't even realize it's been 4 years. I did not even realize that Biden went into office in 2020 until we was talking about our tax returns earlier, and that really made me think, what the fuck has he done in the past four
nothing.
years?
Literally nothing. I mean, like literally, what got him in office in the beginning was him talking about how he wanted to what's it called, give better health care to senior citizens. Where is it? Where is it? That bothers me so much, because I got a grandma that deal with bullshit with insurance and stuff. Where was to make it easier for the senior citizen? Where was any of that at? Like, how I feel about, I understand politicians gotta do what they gotta do and say whatever they gotta say to win elections and races and power and stuff. But if you marketing your entire campaign, literally Joe Biden's biggest strong point was the fact that I care about senior citizens. Where was any of that at these 4 years? Where was any of it?
It's probably too busy putting money towards the bills that never got passed, because apparently every most of the bills that Biden and Kamala passed on the Senate Congress, they wouldn't pass them.
I wonder why. No, that's probably because the Senate. I think the Senate is majority Republican, so that's most probably why. So, but even so, there have been cases, and a lot of cases, where even if it was majority swinging, if it was swinging more Democrat than Republican, that some bills would still get passed because they was just generally good bills, regardless of party and views or whatever. But I doubt that's been the case over these last 4 years. But I
Yeah,
don't want to speak too much on it because I don't know the policy that they have tried to make. I do know what was promised, and I do know that that the senior citizens was not given, or the American people was not given any of the things that y'all promised. So you lied. That's cool and all. You lied, and I personally want to see y'all back in office. So I'm not gonna vote for y'all, because I do have the power to vote. I don't want y'all in office. Now, what is my one vote gonna do? Maybe not much, but that's fine. It's still me voting.
What
It's
I will
time. It's
say,
time. It's time for an
wait, no,
actual change, man.
I thought he was about to say this. Now it's time for the what the fuck. But what I will say is that one thing that I personally kept up with was the student loan promise. They Joe Biddy himself
Joe Gibby.
promised that student loans were going to be wiped. All student loans were going to be wiped. Maybe all student loans. That's a lot of money to just toss away. Now I would have took the half. I only got 6K to pay back. So I would have only had 3K to pay that. I would have took that wholeheartedly. Or if anything, since I only got 6K, they probably would have took that entire thing away. And I would have been A-okay with that. But it's the simple fact that over the 4 years, in the first year you promised this,
Your
nothing
mic.
happened. Oh. In the first year you promised this, nothing happened. Okay. The second year in office, it doesn't happen. Okay. This was while I was still in school. I didn't go back to school in 2023. I didn't go back to school in 2023. Still nothing. It's 2024. Where the fuck is my student loan fucking hardship at? I understand
I
that y'all
will
put.
say. I will say that it did go. I think it went to the courts, and then the courts. I think that bill has been struck down multiple times because you got to think about it. These colleges want their money. End of the day, they do not care about the forgiveness thing that Joe Bibby's trying to like propose. They do not care. They want their money, and they want their money now. They don't care if they gotta wait 20 years until you get rich, until you die. The only way you get out of it is only if you die, because at that point they can't. It's whatever. That's just the money laws, right? But they want their money, and I don't understand what is with I don't understand what it is with the Republican Party trying to like stop it. I don't know. I don't know if that's like a corporate America thing where it's like, oh, capitalism or whatever. I do not know. I am not that knowledgeable on why they do not want the bills to be passed. I'm not gonna say I don't care, but it's the fact that these colleges are so expensive now, and it's like, how can we go for higher education and get these jobs that we so need and so desperate for in the economy if you're not giving us the opportunity to get these degrees that we need?
Just because it's behind a massive fucking paywall. And that's another issue that I have with just capitalist America and colleges just in general. So you mean to tell me just so I can pursue the career that I want to do, I have to not only sacrifice large amount of years of my life to this class, but I have to sacrifice blase amount of money to this class. If I do not have loans, if I fail the class, not only do I have to pay for the class still, but I have to still retake that class and pay for it out of my pocket because I still have those student loans. And I didn't know scholarships and I don't want to take out a student loan. And it gets so bad to the point if you really want to pursue your career, you have to take out a student loan. And that's how they get you every single time. That's how they get you, and that's how you get stuck in having to either take out a loan again just to pay for your class, or just stuck paying all the student loans. That's why so many doctors and nurses just are like $30,000, $40,000 in debt to colleges just so they could pay for their classes, just to get their doctorates, just to get their PhD, just to get their RN certification.
Like,
And
think about
not
it like this, bro. 2 years of nursing school, we have these nurses 50,000, 50 grand in debt. 2 years.
it's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. And so that's why I feel as if the push for people to go to school, I'm glad that it's getting a lot more lax. I'm glad that people are actually finding more ways to not have to go to college, because college isn't meant for everybody. I know that
It's not.
I wanted to go to college because I wanted to be a psychologist. I wanted to help people, but I just didn't want to go to school anymore. I didn't want to be in high school anymore. So why did I want to go to college? I went to college because college is an experience that everyone should have at least tried once. But it was a community college, and so I couldn't even really enjoy college because I'm not at a big university. I'm not meeting new people. I'm not living in the dorms. I'm not having to live and go to one of those old not Western, but old European looking fucking buildings to go to my classes. I didn't get the experience on that because I had to go to community college because I may be smart, but I ain't that smart. And I'm not wasting all my money to go to university just for me to not flunk, but for me to not pass because I didn't pass math.
Yeah, and I'll say this, just to like end it off.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter what side you're on. It doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. There are certain things that you should want, so you can actually prosper and continuously to prosper in life. Because you can argue, well, there's this and there's this and there's all these other different things you can take out. No, it is too expensive. This economy is too bad. You can blame Joe Biden. You can blame Trump. I do not care. All I care about is the problem getting fixed. And if y'all are gonna spend so much time arguing and bitching about the actual problem instead of making a fucking solution, then get the fuck out of office. You can argue from your seat at home. Let the people who are ready to solve the problem come in and solve the fucking problem. It doesn't matter if it's Trump. It does not matter if it's whatever Democrat that's out there, it doesn't matter whatever Republican that's out there. If your goal is to actually solve the problem and you're trying to solve the problem, then get the fuck in and solve the problem. You are here at the end of the day. I think the presidents and some of these very powerful political figures forget you are here to serve the people. The people are not here to serve you. You make an absurd amount of money every single year. The amount of money, let's not even talk about the free money you're basically giving during your campaigns, the millions of dollars that you're giving in your campaign. You're not giving that back. You're keeping it. It's all
Hmm.
free money towards you that can be taxed, by the way, or I don't think can be taxed, by the way. But as far as what I know right now, it can't be taxed. So that's just money going in your pockets. Fix the problem, or get the fuck out the way. I'm saying like that. That is just that simple. If you're not ready, if you cannot fix the problem, why are you here? Why are you talking? I don't want somebody that's not gonna fix the problem to talk. Leave. I don't care about the argument.
I just I just think it's so wild that and this is gonna be my last comment, and I'm gonna let it end off. I just find it so crazy that the women on the View, one woman in particular said after this interview, I hope to God that no one tells me that Kamala Harris is not fit to be president. The way that she came on this interview, she not demanded respect, but she carried herself flawlessly. She was able to answer every single question, which is a lie. Every single time she was asked a question, she would answer maybe this much and then derail. She does it in every single interview, every single time she's on the microphone. She doesn't answer the question that she's asked. She always does not answer it. And so at this point, I don't even know if she's telling the truth, honestly, because there is no every single interview I have sat here and watched, she has always derailed from the question, or she will always go back to her three focal points: gun control, student loan, and female healthcare. I'm done.
With that, let's do outros because this podcast's been going around for like almost for a bit of for like well over an hour now. So we don't have time to do WTF that I just watched this week. But I don't really think we need it this week. It's been
Because
a
this entire
really
video,
this has been a really amazing podcast. I'm not gonna lie. I've never really wanted the podcast to really go into more in the political or social, just political podcast, just in general, like social politics. I don't really want to. Not that I won't. I don't really want to deal with the. Well, were you for this side? What is for that? I'm with no side. I do not care about either side. I don't care about what either side want, need, or
I'm with the
crave.
big titties.
I
I'm
exactly
I'm with the big titties. The fuck you on, nigga?
like At the end of the day, we're here to solve a problem, make a
Mm.
community. So, and we can't have a community if we're not able to talk about the hard topics and the dark topics and the social issues that go on. Like just because we're young, that don't mean we do. That don't mean we're so oblivious and so ignorant. It just means we're not talking about it for a particular reason. Maybe we don't know enough. Maybe we're trying to get all the information together. We're not perfect. We fuck up sometimes. We fuck up sometimes with topics. Maybe sometimes we don't say allegedly with these topics when we should say allegedly. That's just stuff we're working on. I mean, goddamn, we've only been doing this shit for like a year now. So, yeah,
Oh, it
it's
is a
all the
year.
time.
We
It is a
did
year.
it,
So,
yeah. We did
so
it.
yeah,
Ooh.
you can consider this the 1 year anniversary podcast. So, well, really, the first one will be the first. Yeah, first interview podcast, episode 2, season 2, episode 2 of the CDMS podcast. Outros, Cameron, you take it off.
Oh, baby. Hello, guys. It's me, your local neighborhood Spider Man. Um, I enjoyed the podcast today. We talked about some very heavy hitting topics, and I think all the topics that we talked about were something that, if anything, we should 100% talk about because we are Gen Z. We are the next adults. We are the generation that's going to be the next doctors, the next teachers, the next military instructors. We're the next in line for all of this. And so, if anything, we should be talking about this and we should be, if not necessarily giving our point to where, like you said, where we picking a side. No, we're not picking a side. If anything, we're the most independent individuals you could possibly meet on this internet. We may have viewpoints that may sound like we're on this side, but we're only speaking from personal experience. We're only in our 20s. We can't have more experience than the experience that we have now, and so it just it's just we can only say so much and we can only do so much, especially if we don't even have the resources. But that's a topic for another day. This is the outro. I'm trying to end on a good note. Ooh.
Ain't no way.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any final remarks, friend?
Um, be great, be great, eat ass, get cash.
Oh my god. So explicit. Oh my god. I mean, I'm over here moaning into the actual microphone, so let me chill out. I was your
TOS, TOS.
I'm sorry, internet. I'm sorry, YouTube. I'm sorry. But
Don't delete the channel, please.
I was your host, Cameron. Obviously, the most attractive person on this panel, and this was my as equally attractive co-host. Y'all thought I was gonna hit y'all with some slimy ass shit. Nah. We fist bump. Oh, come on. No, do it the other
Which
arm. Other arm.
Oh.
Yeah. We'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.